All right. Hey, guys. Thank you for showing up tonight for a big team call. I am tonight's host, and I'm really excited to kind of talk to you about this topic because honestly, yesterday, I didn't realize that it was my turn to host the call. We've been rotating through some of the different coaches, and, we had the new year, and it was like, bam, okay, well, it was my turn, and I was like kind of taken aback, like, okay. What can I talk about? What can I teach people? What do I know? How can I enhance, their businesses? I've been in this business a long time, and I've been through a lot of trainings and a lot of team calls, and I really had to sleep on it because I was like, everything can be so complicated, right? Like, you're thrown a training and you're thrown, a tutorial on how to do Pick Monkey, and we've got, Coach Basics or, Facebook ad marketing, and all of that's great. But what tends to happen is that when we focus on those other things, we never actually do the things that we need to do to move our business forward. So having said that, this is going to be super simple. I want you to know that, what it takes to be successful is not going to be found in a training group that you watch for hours on YouTube. What's going to make you successful as a coach is doing the thing. And I'm not going to go over the daily vitals, guys. You know that. We know we work out. We know we drink our shake. So this is really more about how you're presenting yourself and putting yourself out there to attract those people that are going to want to join your team and do what you're doing. So I'm going to do a screen share. Let me find it. Okay, so this is all about keeping coaching simple. Super excited about the new year. You've made your goals. You're pumped for the health bet. You have all this energy and excitement, but you just don't really know where to go with it, right? That tends to happen a lot at the beginning of the year. And if you don't start being consistent now and actually following through with your plans that you've made, if you haven't set goals yet, you need to, then you're really going to probably fall flat by around March or after this first challenge group. The things that it takes to be successful as a Beachbody coach are simple. They're easy to not do. But they're easy to do. So your vitals, like I said, are something that, I don't have to write down, what am I going to do today? Am I going to drink my shake today? Am I going to work out? Those are just a given. That's kind of why I started this business. Those are the things that have brought me to where I am. I love coaching. I love my shake, and I love my workouts. So that's a given. That is really that is really where you're going to find the people that want to do what you want to do. They have to have a love of the product, and they are usually going to be great challengers. So what I want you to do is really think about these things. Have you ever felt stagnant, right? Have you ever felt stagnant in your business? I know you're brand new, so you're probably not going to. Or as a new coach, like, what do I do next? What direction do I go in? All these trainings in the coach office. What do I do? What do I do? These are the things that can take you away from your daily goals.
The rice and beans from the other night. There's no chicken left, but.
So what are your time suckers? What are you doing right now that's preventing you from doing the actual things that you need to do for your business? So like I gave some examples of, spending 2 hours on YouTube learning how to do a Pick Monkey, or, taking a training, and all those things are great. But if you don't start, and the very first thing you do every single day is do those things that are going to grow your business, you're going to run out of time. Like, I am guilty of all of these things, guys. I'm not saying that at all. And that's why I can speak to them, because I'm super guilty of getting completely lost in trainings and not actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So what I would suggest that you guys do, we talked about this today on a bigger mastermind call, but whether you're a new coach or you're a coach that's like building a team, use the tools that are already in place. Use your upline. One of the things, for example, for myself, where I kind of got stagnant was I kind of got away from what's called the phase one activities of a coach. So as a new coach, you should be talking to people about the product, talking to people about the business, show your excitement, show up on Facebook. You have to be out there. And what I was doing was, okay, well, let me plan this team call and let me see, do I need to redo all these trainings because, well, they're not perfect in the Coach Online office, and let me see if I can make them just the way I want them. And that was taking up like all this ridiculous time, and I wasn't out recruiting. I wasn't out, talking to people about the product. So just be aware that, those things can suck you in and really prevent you from like running with the pack. So it doesn't matter, like, if I started a day before you, just because I started before you doesn't mean that I shouldn't be doing the exact same things that you guys are doing every single day. Really 70-80% of your activities should be focused on those things, those phase one activities, talking about, the product. So just keep that in mind when you're planning your day. I'm sure you guys have heard of Eat That Frog. It's a great book by Brian Tracy. And it talks about doing those one or two tasks every single day that are hard. And so if you do those first and just knock them out, how does it feel? How does it make you feel when you can cross off that? I connected. I sent my invites. So anyway, it's a great book if you haven't read it. It's just Brian Tracy's awesome. So I'm gonna give you some tools, because I can talk about keeping it simple, but I want to give you some tools that are going to help you where you're struggling. And I know a lot of people that I've talked to actually struggle with, what do I post on Facebook? How do I need to show up? How are people going to find me? Where am I going to find people? And honestly, guys, if you've got to pick a platform and stick with it. Don't try to be all things to, don't try to be part of every social media that's out there. I mean, if you have, 10 hours a day, go for it. I'm most familiar with Facebook. That's kind of where I have done most of my business, other than, through just personal, my warm market. So stick with what you know. And get really, really great at that. So when we're talking about Facebook, guys, don't spend hours trying to figure out your brand. You don't need to figure out your brand. You are your brand. Like, you are your brand, okay? If you're a cat lady, that's your brand. If you drink wine, that's your brand. If you're of a certain age, that's your brand. Don't try to create a brand to fit what you think a Beachbody coach is, right? So just as an example, I made a post, I think it was yesterday. I'm not a food prepper. I don't like to prep food. I'm not going to pretend to like to prep food. So I like easy, and that's something that I could post about, right? And if I pretended to be some master food prepper, people are going to kind of see through that. They're like, I don't know about all that, because she hasn't been doing that consistently, right? So just don't sit and write out, okay, what's my brand? Your brand is you. This is just be you. We talked about what you're most familiar with. So consistency and posting. This is something that I have not been perfect on, and we're all, I'm guilty of a lot of these things. But what I'm trying to do, especially this year, starting this January, is really be more consistent in my posting and more often and more purposeful. So who's read the book? You could just raise your hand. It Starts With Why by Simon Sinek or whatever. If you turn every single post that you make on Facebook, and it could be a funny, it doesn't have to be Beachbody, but if you start with why instead of what, and we'll just use Beachbody as an example. If you lead with why rather than what, you're going to touch more people, you're going to connect with more people. And I'll just give you an example. Like, who's posted their shake and said, had my Shakeology today, yum yum, right? So you're just posting what you're doing, but you're not posting why you're doing it, right? So if you say, and it could be something as simple as, man, this really has helped me with my cravings today. I was dying for a brownie, why you did it, and then what, right? If it's a workout, just posting a sweaty selfie is not going to connect with a why, right? So why did you work out today? Or and there's another little example I was going to use for another part of this, but so how it made you feel, start with the why and then move on to what you did. For Super Saturday, why did you go to Super Saturday? If you posted a Super Saturday pic, man, it was really awesome connecting with people that I haven't seen in a quarter this weekend with my extended Beachbody family, so you connected that why you did it instead of just posting that you did it, right? So start looking at the why rather than the what. And I know most of you don't do this, but I used to do it. You really do have to set yourself apart from Beachbody. We are Team Beachbody, but you guys know we've talked about this forever. With 400,000 coaches, anybody can Google Beachbody and order a product, right? So you are really and truly selling yourself, right? And if you're true and authentic to yourself, that's going to come across through what you post and who you're going to attract. So they're attracted to you and your story and how Beachbody's helped you versus the Beachbody product itself. This is just an example that I have written down. I can barely see it. So like if you think about American Idol or one of those silly shows, like a game show or American Idol, people tune in for the story. Like usually the winner of American Idol is the one with like the story that you're like rooting for that person, because they share those stories as part of the attraction. Like, are you going to watch American Idol just to hear people sing or the voice, or do you connect with the before story and you're like rooting for that person? So just make sure you're sharing a little bit of yourself. Let me give you some tips on how to do that. So who has like forgotten to show up on Facebook for like days at a time? Right? Like on your public page. So what would happen if you went to Starbucks every day and they were closed, right? And you went to get your coffee and there was no one there. You're like, but I really want that coffee because it was open, right? When did they close? And so I think I'm going to go to, whatever the other coffee company is. Ours is Community. I don't know, what's up north or wherever. People are going to go elsewhere because they think that, you're not a coach anymore. It would be like if you were going to go have surgery and you were going to go check out this doctor and then you went to his website and the website was gone, or you hadn't had any. You just have to be there, right? You have to be there. People are going to go elsewhere. They're going to go to beachbody.com or they're going to go to another coach. They want to see that you're there. So this is an exercise that you can do with your success partner or your upline. Everybody has an upline. And if you don't have a success partner, I really suggest a success partner because it's great to just sort of run together and roll things off of each other and help each other out with strategies. If your buddy was to go to your Facebook page and like with just one scroll, okay, can you tell that you're a coach? Is there a picture of your beautiful face? Is there something that I could find out about you, right, on your page that I would be attracted to or connected to? And is there something that you've had an invite to? You know, I don't invite on my Facebook, but you know, after like so many posts, then there may be one that says, "Hey, I'm having this," you know, or you know, I'm looking to help, whatever it is, but they have to be able to see that in one scroll, or they're, you know, probably within about 3. They probably won't waste their time after 3. So just audit your own page and say, okay, would anybody even know that I'm a coach? Okay, I was trying to look and see if I was actually recording this. I hope I am. Okay. So this is a fun exercise that I actually got from another coach, and I posted on our team page to give me all your objections. So, you know, what are your coaches, what are your potential customers telling you as an objection for whatever, whether it be a fitness program or Shakeology. And so I have a really awesome list on our team page. And what you can do with that is actually battle those objections publicly. Okay. So I don't mean, I'll give you an example. Today I posted the number 2 reason I love working out at home instead of a gym is because I get to spend time with my dog, right? I just battled an objection because somebody might say, oh, I like to go to the gym, right? I don't want to do home workouts. I'd like to go to the gym. So I just gave a reason why I enjoy doing home workouts. It could be a reason I love working out at home. Thank goodness I get to work out at home because I don't have to fight traffic to go to the gym. Or I know I'd probably never leave the house. I know I'd probably never go to the, you know, so you turn the objection just into a, you know, public post because people are going to go, oh, okay, you know. Another easy one, prices. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I think it's going to be a really fun exercise. My idea is that we take that list as a team and come up with some, you know, fun kind of sample ways to turn those around that you could post on your timeline. That you're not like throwing it out there at people. Like I wouldn't say, well. Anyway, that's what my plan is. So like, let's as a team kind of figure out, okay, let's turn these objections into something that I could post. And then people say, oh, wow, okay, that does make sense. I can see why they would do that. Another thing to do besides, you know, battling those objections publicly on your Facebook is to make a list of the things that, you know, how did you feel when you first started, you know? Write it down. Don't just think about it on the fly. Like make, you know, this is all planned. So make a list of how you felt when you first started. I remember how excited I was. Bottle that up, put it on paper, and you have posts. Okay, post after post. What finally made you decide to sign up? You know, could it have been a couple of things? You know, thank goodness my coach. You know, yada yada. And what part of the lifestyle attracted you? Those are things that you can post about. These are ideas. You want to show all sides of the coaching, right? And don't worry if you are not at some place that you think you should be as a coach. You know, there are lots of people in different places. I think coaching for 99% of the people is what it does for you on the inside and how it makes you a better person. and all those other things kind of fall into place. But there's so much to share about this, whether it be, weight loss or, making friends, being part of a community, earning extra money to pay for, would be surprised, you might think that that's, a small amount, but to someone that might be, you were able to pay your car payment that month, or, so never think that where you are isn't awesome enough. I never post about money. That's not why I do this, and that's not what I'm trying to attract. I'm trying to attract people that want to get healthy and fit, and in turn benefit financially and help their family. But I never lead with that. And if you want to, you can, but that's just not me. Another thing that I think we've all really started to do is to really post more about the team and the team culture and sharing people's results and really highlighting, coaches and challengers. Just brag on your team. I think Candy was our latest Emerald, right? So that was posted publicly, and we got to go cheer her on, and people see that and they're like, what is that? The people that want to see it are watching, and the people that don't, they just scroll by anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like, don't worry about what other people think. It doesn't, you're only looking for that person that's looking for you, right? Don't worry about all those other people. Those other people don't matter, right? So you be you, and you present you, and the people that want what you have to offer are gonna be there. They're gonna find you. But you've got to be there. They've got to find you. And so, lastly, proving that it's not just you. You're not alone. We're part of a team. Okay. I feel like I lost a slide or two, but maybe not. So none of this matters if we don't take action, right? You have got to have a plan. We are capable of anything, as coaches, but without the action that goes along with it, then you're not going to succeed. So if you have not made a plan, meaning like set your goals for the first quarter, set your challenge groups for the first quarter, you've got to do that. And then I'm telling you, if you consistently show up on Facebook, sharing, leading with your why, having fun with it, and not worrying about what other people think, that consistency is going to add up and bring you the people that are looking for you. Can't find you if you're not there, and not everybody can get out. And I'm not the coach that has a local fit club, and that I'm out at all the, that's just not the way I have built my business. I've built my business mainly through Facebook and making friends online, and people referring people to me because they liked me, and they like the culture. So, you have a lot to offer. It's just making a plan. And I hope that y'all got some tips out of this. Let's kind of open it up for questions. Let's talk about like where you're stuck or what you need help with, because we still have a couple minutes left, and I'd love to like open it up and do some chat. And let me get rid of this screen. Okay. There we go.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. So I still am working on my own personal Facebook page, the one I got several years ago. That's where I do all my posting. But I noticed like Claudia has Claudia Turner and then Claudia Turner. So how do you get all of your friends, as people come in for business reasons? I may not want them necessarily to know all my personal stuff, like when I'm on vacation or whatever. So how do you transfer kind of all your contacts from your personal Facebook page to a business Facebook page, like your like Ashley Hughes Fitness from your personal Ashley Hughes page.
Candy, is that you speaking?
Yes.
Okay, because you were frozen, and I was like looking for somebody's mouth that was moving, and I'm like, oh, who is this? Okay. First off, I'm public, so I kind of tossed the whole private Facebook out the window when I decided I was going to do this.
Okay.
And I know I've had this conversation with other coaches that were a little hesitant about, like, you know, really posting on their public page. You can totally run with your business page. It's a little more work, but I think it's great to have it. But it's not as visible as your public page. So Facebook kind of picks and chooses what's going to get shown. You're just going to have more eyes on your personal page. But
Right.
you can block certain photos. Like if you want to go on vacation and you don't want to share that, you can always go to Facebook settings and, you know, block a family photo.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. That's a tough one because I'm just public. If anybody else has anything to add to that, anybody that has both that isn't public, Tracy? Are you? She's muted. No, Tracy? Oh no, she was waving. Yeah, but ultimately you need to. Am I muting you, or do you need me to? No, I can't. I don't think I can unmute you. Look, there's a little microphone with a red thing across it. Just push that, and it'll unmute you. But I think you should feel comfortable with whatever decision you make because it's ultimately your, you know, your page, your family. So that's kind of the way I've always, you know, helped coaches who struggled with that. Is, you know. Okay.
I found it.
Yeah, okay.
I had the same hesitation about that. I'm a very private person, and there are certain things I just want to share with certain people, and I have family and friends spread out. I do believe on Facebook there is a group section where you can just you can do like a family group and certain friends group and just post certain things for that particular group. And what I did is I did a separate fitness page. So if that helps, you know, with ideas.
So how did you get all your contacts over to your personal fitness page?
You have to invite, well, she's talking about a group and you're talking about a public fitness page. You have to just send them an invite and they would have to accept that invite.
Okay.
You just add them. You can send them an invite and they would have to accept it. So
okay,
that's how that works. But what she's talking about too, you can, and we can, like, I would love to do like a little, if y'all want me to hop on tomorrow and show you how to do it on a Zoom tomorrow, but you can go into Facebook and create, basically you can organize your friends list into categories. And if you put all of your like potential, I call them potential coaches or clients in one group, then you can actually just post to that group on your Beachbody, on your Facebook page. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And nobody knows they're in a group. So it's not going to show up like, these are potential coaches or clients, you know. So like you could, so you can actually just make a post for those people and it goes to every single one of those people and not your friends and family. But, but if you are friends and you make a public post about your vacation, everybody's going to see it unless you specifically post it to your family members. Do you understand? So it takes a little more effort. Okay. But yeah, I'd be happy to help if you want tomorrow. Well, I have a hair appointment at 12:30. So before that, if you're around or if you're working or whatever. Anyway, great question though.
Well, that answered my question.
Okay. Anybody else?
If I could maybe chime in with that.
Yes, please.
Because I've had a lot of coaches say kind of the same thing, that they're hesitant about putting certain things out there, whether it's public, private, or, you can click on each thing. But what I found is that those people struggle with this business. And I'm just being honest because I don't want you to waste your time. And I would ask kind of like what Tracy did, ask yourself, where is that hesitation coming from? I understand you don't want to publicly say, hey, my house is free, like, please come and, take whatever you want from it when I'm on vacation. But there are some really good books about vulnerability, if that's another side besides kind of like the vacation things, but being more personal and how you can be more vulnerable with your posts. Because I think a lot of people have shame behind a lot of the things that they don't want to share with people, but those are the things that can connect people to you. I don't know if you've ever heard of Brene Brown. Like, she's freaking awesome. She's been on Oprah. I have her on a lot of my Audible for audio, and I'll just, let me just open it up really quick. But a couple of her good personal development books is Daring Greatly. And then I downloaded a new one of hers, and I heard it's really good, The Gifts of Imperfection. So maybe that can help you kind of see what's holding you back and just being a little bit more vulnerable with your post, not that you're leaving your house open.
Any other questions? So you guys get the whole point of this is that, we don't want you to overthink. We want you to take action. And it's in taking that action that you're going to get to where you want to go. So just remember that when you're planning your day and you're where you're going to put that time, who works outside of the house? So time is valuable, Actually, I kind of wish I did sometimes because I have too much time. And so I get totally lost in Facebook world and YouTube webinars and stuff like that. So yeah, put a schedule on yourself. And any other questions? Come on. There was a question somebody posted in the team page. There were some really fun objections that were posted on my team page. So I'm going to have to copy them and put them in a file because they're really a lot of them I hadn't heard. Usually it's the typical money, or I work at the gym, or, I like to eat my food. So I thought this was really great. So that'll be fun to kind of turn those around and help you guys come up with some fun posts. Good. All right. Well, thank y'all for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, and I will. I'll see y'all in Facebook world.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.